Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy to have you here. My name is Kyle. This is Daydreamin, which if you've been following along with my past few videos, this is my second island that I just recently started. And it's going to be a jungle themed island. I am so incredibly excited about it, but today I'm so excited because I am going to try my first ever speed build, my first ever build on this island, and it's going to be my jungle entrance. As you can see, I have a lot of space to work with between my airport and the resident services, so I'm so excited about that, and I really hope that it turns out well. I'm gonna leave the commentary on this to future voiceover Kyle, so I will see you at the end, and I hope that this looks good. Alright, hello everyone, this is voiceover Kyle. How are you all doing? I am so happy that you're here. So to start out this build, I first had to chop down a bunch of trees, which quite honestly, I should have done that before I started recording, but you know, little old me did not think about doing that, but it's fine. You can just watch me struggle for the first like minute and a half. But yes, you see me eating a bunch of fruit because I also wanted to save a bunch of these trees because I knew that I wanted to use them later on in the build. And basically, my idea going into this build was that I wanted a large buildup of cliffs on either side of the entrance so that when you were walking in, it would feel very full, foresty almost, with a lot of trees. I wanted some waterscaping. I mean, it's very heavily terraformed. As you can see here, I went ahead and just started my terraforming. I do have to kind of redo my terraforming a lot because even though I had an image in my head of what I wanted, I wasn't exactly sure. So it took a lot of playing around and, you know, digging up trees, breaking rocks, expanding the cliffs, shortening the cliffs, but I am very happy with how this turned out. It does kind of look like a struggle in the beginning, but in the end, I think that it really, like, the vision in my head just came to life so well. Also, as I said in the beginning of this video, this was my first ever speed build video, and I am very excited about that. Like, it's something that I've wanted to do for a long time, so I'm happy that I finally made one. But hopefully, as I continue to do more speed builds for this island, you know, we'll get more organized. I think that's one of the things that you'll see later on in the video, or you even saw it in the beginning. I had so many items laid out to the right of me for like items that I was intending to use for this build, and there got to a point where I was getting ready to decorate, and of course I just see a bunch of little leaves on the ground, and I didn't know what was what, and I was having to go through and like figure out, you know, where my items were and everything, but it wasn't that bad. But you know, you live and learn, and I'm so excited to make a new speed builds. I've actually already recorded like 2 or 3 more. Y'all, I have really been just going ham on recording. I have recorded so many videos in advance. But if you are someone who has been watching a lot of my videos, I just thank you for that. I already recognize a few people that are kind of like regulars to my channel, even though I am a very small channel, hopefully growing. But yeah, I'm just so thankful for everyone who interacts with me in the comments or, you know, DMs me on Instagram. It means a lot to me. This is something that I've wanted to do for a long time. I know I've talked about that like a lot, but it just makes me so excited to have people to talk to and share my passion with. And y'all, this island is like turning out to be just everything that I have wanted. Like this has been something that I've wanted to do for a long time. Not only just make videos, but make like a very natural, jungly type island. So yes. Also, right here, you can see me already destroying Cliff. I was going to, on that little outpost of cliff, I was going to put a tree right there. And then I was like, no, that's ugly. I'm just going to put a tree below it. So yeah, this part in the beginning is really just a lot of me terraforming. So I hope that you enjoy it. If you don't want to sit here and watch me terraform, feel free to just skip ahead. I do start decorating towards the end, but I also, the terraforming and the decorating are kind of like mixed together because once I started decorating, I had to go back and change some things. So yeah. So what you see me doing here now is I'm trying to map out where I want to put trees, and I knew that I wanted a waterfall coming off of this cliff, so I wanted to first plan out the waterfall and also plan out where I was going to put the trees around that waterfall because, girl, the rules, the game's rules with the trees and the water like really get me. So here you see I really wanted to put a tree right there, so I decided to kind of thin out my waterfall, which it's fine because nobody really sees the top anyway. It's just like that view. I wanted, when you were coming into the island, when you look up, like pan up with the camera, that you just see a bunch of trees. So the trees were more important to me. And here you see I am connecting my water features together. That is a style that I really like. And one of the things that I think you'll notice, especially if you saw my very first video on this channel, was a island tour of my first island, Lovely Bay. That island, I did not really challenge myself too much with terraforming, just because for the longest time I was like, I'm not good at terraforming. Like, terraforming is not my thing. I'm just gonna focus on light terraforming and heavy decorating. And I feel like that since doing that island, I've gained a lot more skill in terraforming. So I definitely wanted to challenge myself. And I think that I definitely accomplished that with this build. And in future builds, I hope to also accomplish that. Also, as you just saw me do, I did take advantage of the cliff tree glitch that if you watch like Animal Crossing YouTube content, you've probably heard of that before, but if you haven't, there are loads of tutorials out here on YouTube for how to do that. It's pretty simple, but that's one of my like favorite glitches, I guess, to utilize because I think it's so useful and it can really help you add a lot more trees and make the cliffs look so much more full, because as I said, the in-game rules about the trees are just so stupid. Like, so it lets you put the trees right up on the edge of the cliff. And yeah, if you're interested in that, as I said, there are tons of tutorials that would probably explain it a lot better than me, but you can also see me doing it quite a lot here. And here I am running around getting cedar trees because I didn't do that in the beginning. Again, a little disorganized, but that's okay. At least I was functioning. But I knew that I wanted cedar trees incorporated here. I wanted all types of trees, except for palm trees. I know that some people use palm trees on jungle islands, but that is just something I decided not to use palm trees for my jungle, just because in my head they're a lot more tropical, and I wanted to stick to like pure jungle. So yeah, that's another random thought. But bamboo trees, oh, of course, I heavily use the bamboo trees. They're like everywhere. And cedar trees, hardwood trees. Not really using a lot of fruit trees either, just because I don't feel like they fit in my like aesthetic that I'm going for. So yeah, that's just a little random fact. Another thing that you've probably already noticed me doing a little is periodically throughout the build, I would go and run over to the little dock at the airport and just check, pan up, check to see how it's looking, because that, I mean, that was really important to me that it looked good. Like as soon as you walked off the airport, that's what you see. So that's what I recommend doing that. That's, if I had to give like advice for terraforming, first of all, it would be to trust yourself. Don't be like me and just refuse to do any terraforming because you're like, oh, I'm not good at it. It does take practice, and it takes just playing around with it. Like sometimes you'll just play around with terraforming and then you'll create something beautiful and you're like, oh my god, how did I do that? Like, and it's just because that you started playing around and you trusted yourself. So that would be my first tip. But also my second tip would be to like periodically walk around the area that you're working in. Like if you're working on an entrance, go up to the airport, pan up, see how it's looking, you know, see how walkable it is, if that's something that's important to you. Like little things like that can just really help you kind of keep track of how you're doing in the build. And then you won't get to the end and realize, oh my god, like I wanted to be able to see that tree from the airport and I can't. And then, you know, have to go through the whole hassle of like tearing stuff down. Like that would be tragic. So yeah, as you can see now, I have started working on the second side. This side I think gave me a lot more trouble because my idea was I wanted the entrance to be enclosed, but I wanted to make like a little diagonal path cutting off to the resident services, which I don't do in this video. I ended up doing that off camera. I actually decorated like the whole area of resident services kind of off camera because I had no idea what I wanted to do. And I sat there and played around with it for, gosh, like 3 hours, I want to say. And I ended up just by playing around coming up with something that I think looks good, even though I had no plan whatsoever. So here you see me utilizing the tree glitch again. As I said, use it multiple times within this build because I just wanted as many trees as possible. It was very important to me. There I did not use it. At this point, I wanted to go ahead and start mapping out my second little pond area. That was one thing that I envisioned in my head, was having like double waterfalls with little ponds coming out. And one thing that I totally forgot about when I was filming this video was that I wanted to put like a flamingo in one of them and a frog in the other, just because I felt like that was a very, you know, jungly thing to do. And I didn't have those items when I was filming this because I forgot to get them beforehand. So that was another thing that I had to add kind of afterwards. But yeah, as here you can see, I wrapped around that waterfall to the front. Again, that was something that I envisioned. I wanted lots of water because I think the water is pretty. So as you just saw, I did go and grab another bamboo tree, and at this point I felt that I was ready to go ahead and start placing down my path custom design. Now, I understand that this path is like the path that everyone who does jungle theme uses. I have seen so many people on Instagram use it. I know that Tiger here on YouTube in her jungle island used it. And I'm aware of that, and I tried my best to avoid this path. And if anyone has any path suggestions, then feel free to hit me up. But I spent so long on Pinterest and Twitter and Instagram looking for jungle paths, and this was the only one that I could find that resembled what I was looking for. Like, it's that perfect shade of dark brown. It has the little flowers on the edges, it has the little leaves and everything, and it just feels so jungly. And I didn't want to be like the basic girl and use the same path as everyone else, but I was like, there's like no other options. Maybe jungle isn't done as much as I thought it was, because I was expecting there to be like loads of jungle paths, but apparently not. But yes, if I do find a different path in the future, then all it would take was a simple, like, you know, swap out of the paths at the Ables. It wouldn't be that big of a deal. But I do really like this path for now, so we'll see. But yeah, you can see me just laying it down here. I did want to keep it in because I know that some people still really struggle with placing down this path, and understandably so. Like, I think it takes a lot of practice. I had a version of the path for a long time on Lovely Bay, and all I could make was like generic circles. Like, I had no idea how to bend it and curve it, but with practice I figured that out. So if you kind of struggle with using the path, that's my best advice, is to just practice, play around with it, watch other people using it. Like I said, that's why I kept it in. And once you get the hang of it, like, it makes a lot of sense. You can kind of look at the path and think in your mind, okay, this is the piece that I need to use to curve it to the left, and this is the piece that I need to use to curve it to the right, and, you know, all of that good jazz. But here at this point in the video, I was ready to start decorating. As you can see, I went ahead and got some items like my leaf piles and my deer scare and all that stuff. I wanted it, as I said multiple times, to feel very natural, but also very like grand. I love grand entrances, and I love using items. That is one thing that I like the most. I've never been the type of person to like terraform a cliff and just like fill it with a couple flowers and a couple weeds and a couple trees and then just carry on. So that is one thing that you will see me doing as this decorating progresses, is putting items up in the cliffs, on the side of the cliffs, around the waterfalls. Also, LOL, y'all see that festival flag that I just tried to throw up there? Well, watch, because right now I'm about to pick it up again. I dropped it on the ground because it was the wrong color, and I was like, nope, I don't want the blue one. And then I dropped it and then picked the same one back up like a dummy, like the dummy that I am. Like, literally, it was so funny. And you'll see, because I had too many festival flags, okay, just sitting over here. And I picked up some more because I had no clue what colors they were. And then I went to put them up and I put up the same blue one again. There you go. There you see. And it took forever for me to finally find the green one that I wanted. Ugh, such a struggle, but it's okay. And I did want to kind of throw in a little plug here. The festival items, I got a lot of them in bulk from my brother Gaz's fabulous Treasure Island Fantasia. He is a Treasure Island streamer over on Twitch. If you saw the video where I started this island, he was the one who was my special guest in that video. And yeah, he runs his own treasure island. On his streams, he lets viewers come over for free. So if that is something that you're interested in, then I, of course, would highly recommend you to check him out. That is how I was able to get a lot of these festival items, because I really felt that the items would really work for the jungle theme, especially the green and the like red slash orange variants. They just look so good. So I was like, oh, well, I'm just gonna go get like a pocket full of these flags and stuff. So yeah, just a little plug if that's something you're interested in. If not, then, you know, no worries. He's still a nice person, so you could just go talk to him and not go to the Treasure Island. Another little tip that I would give that you just saw me do is using the fake plants or like the potted plants in the game intermixed with actual flowers and trees. Like that is something that I've been doing for a long time. Is if I want an area to feel more full but I can't fit any more trees, I'll go put like a yucca or a fan palm or a cypress plant or something of that nature within the mix. I think that they can really, really help to make an area just feel so much more full, especially like we were talking about earlier, the tree rules and everything. Like, I just think that it helps, and they're cute. And if you really don't like the potted aspect of them, then you can put items in front of them to kind of hide those pots. Like, I've seen people do that, like put rocks or I don't know, like boxes or something. I don't know. There's like little items that I'm sure you could find, or even like bushes. Like, I just put down a bush, but yeah, that's probably something that you could do. So that's another little piece of advice of mine, and something that you will see me doing quite a lot here, especially on the sides of the cliffs, is I put up a lot of those potted or fake plants, and probably I'll be using them a lot on this island just to enhance that like very full nature jungle aspect. Another thing that I wanted to use a lot of in this build were butterfly models or just bug models in general. I feel like that adding those, of course, just makes it feel a lot more natural because, you know, of course there would be butterflies flying around in the jungle. Also, look at Clay in the background. He is so cute. Ugh, so sad. He has already left my island, but man, he was cute while he lasted. And here you can see I'm putting up another festival flag. I just really felt like that they enhanced the jungle theme so much. Also, the barbed wire fencing is the primary fence that I use for this build, of course, and probably will be the fencing that I use around the rest of the island. I just feel like that fencing feels very natural, like, and it makes sense to me if you're going to a island or a jungle that's been, you know, it's still left in its natural state a lot, but it's been kind of not modernized, but cultivated, that's the word. What am I saying? Cultivated a little bit. Then I think it would make sense to have like a fence like that up around. So yeah, I just felt like that it fit with my theme. So you'll see me kind of throwing them up around everywhere. They look cute. So by this point in the build, really all I was doing was making sure that these cliffs were full. I was putting up, you know, as I said, the barbed wire fencing, flowers, little plants, butterfly models. weeds, just basically anything that I could think of to fill up the space. There I put a cacao tree. I think that's how you say that. I'm not entirely sure, but as I said, like I put that tree, that potted plant in between the two bamboo trees, and I think that it looks really like nice and natural there. So yeah, and of course, lots of flowers. I wanted these cliffs to feel just very full, especially because this area is one of the main areas that you'll see in the flyover of my island, which if I would have thought about it, I would have recorded a flyover for the end of this video, but I did not think about it, so maybe soon. Soon I will show you what my flyover is looking like. It'll help too when I like finish the resident services and everything, so yeah. Now I am just adding the finishing touches to this build. I did replace my little froggy model with the bamboo basket. And for some reason, I just forgot to put that frog in the pond where I wanted it. But that's okay. This cliff was the last cliff that I did. As you can see, just custom designs, flowers, plants. I think I put, yeah, like a moss ball or something up here, some more fencing. Also, I'm pretty sure I put the festival lights, like the string lights or the garland or whatever it's called. Yeah, the garland. It looks so pretty, that red variation. Oh, I'm just obsessed with how it looks with the jungle theme. It looks so good. But yeah, this is really the finishing touches. The final view of this area is coming up very, very soon. And here we have the finished look of my entrance. Ugh, I pulled out my camera and panned up. And y'all, I am just so excited with how this turned out. I did try to get a few little videos of spots like this, of the cliffs. I'm just so obsessed with how this turned out. I love the amount of trees and how full it feels, and that pan up and just seeing all the trees at the top. I'm just so obsessed with how this came out. This is like exactly what I was envisioning in my head, and I could not be happier, and I'm so proud of myself for sticking with it and doing this, you know, even though it felt like a little bit of a struggle in the beginning. Now I'm throwing confetti. I just thank you all so much for watching this. I had so much fun with this. If you like this video, please don't forget to like it and subscribe to me for more content. I will have more speed builds in the future as I continue to build up this island, and I'm just so thankful for all of your love and support. So I hope to see you in the next one, and leave me a comment. Let me know if you like this build. And yeah, see you hopefully next time. Okay, bye.